You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Look at the stars. The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you.
I don't think it is very useful to speculate on what God might or might not be able to do. Rather, we should examine what he actually does with the universe we live in.
We are all explorers, driven to know what's over the horizon. The most profound discoveries are not necessarily beyond that next star. They're within us, woven into the threads that bind us.
Hello, beautiful people. Happy Wednesday. Happy Mercury Day. Just realized we're already skipping ahead to the end here. Gotta start from square one. It's Mercury Day. And who do we have with us? Rose is here. Nick is here. All hugs from BB. Let's take a look at what famous Virgos are celebrating their birthdays today. Today's an interesting mix, and I love specifically doing this during Virgo season because I'm like, oh, these are like my people, you know? So Dave Chappelle is a Virgo, someone I would not have guessed. Chad Michael Murray is also a Virgo. We will happily take him. Rupert Grint, he's got some Virgo vibes. Let's see, who else do we need to mention? You can take a look at the screen. Reggie Miller is a Virgo. Some interesting people. You'll notice that the vibe is different than Leo season, though. You know, Leo, it's like we had the biggest stars that were celebrating birthdays. We have some big stars still in Virgo season, but not quite as flamboyant, you know, as the Leos in the mix. So if it's your birthday, if someone you know is celebrating a birthday, we want to celebrate them too. Let us know in the comments whether you're joining us live or later so we can give them a happy birthday. Good afternoon, Corby. Hi, Katie. I can see Dave Chappelle being a Virgo. He definitely likes to have control and specific requests in order to perform at his venues. I didn't know that, but totally makes sense. Very particular about what he likes. That is definitely a Virgo trait. All right, so today we're talking about Uranus stationing retrograde. We also have a connection between Venus and Chiron to talk about, and the moon has moved into Leo. So we're going to go through all of it, get comfy, get ready, and have your questions ready as well. The sun is, of course, in Virgo. The moon is now in Leo as of about 6 o'clock this morning. So we're inching closer and closer to that new moon in Virgo when the sun and moon will meet in the sign of the Virgin. That happens on Saturday. But first, we've got this waning moon in Leo, and we'll be talking a lot about how we can use this energy. The Leo moon and the connections it's making today are very energetic. And the past couple of days, it has felt a little bit like an oxymoron. Like Virgo season, it's very productive, it's going, it's doing, but we're in the waning phase, the dark phase of the moon, which is all about slowing down and being introspective. So we'll talk about how we can kind of balance these two energies when we get to that point when we're talking about the moon. But let's start with the main transit you've probably been hearing about today. Uranus is stationing retrograde, which means all of our outer planets are now retrograde. I'll just show you on the chart here. We love this feature of AstroSeek. You can see the little R's on the right-hand side of the screen. These are all the retrograde planets. So Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus stationing retrograde. That's what that ST means. Neptune and Pluto. In fact, Mercury moves into Libra tomorrow, then stations retrograde on September 9th. Once that happens, you can see the only planets that won't be retrograde will be Venus and Mars. So we are heading into the thick of retrograde season in September. What does that mean? I know there's a lot of fear around retrogrades, right? And you might hear, don't fear the retrogrades. Well, this one in particular, Uranus stationing retrograde, Also, remember, Chiron is retrograde too. Just want to point that out. Uranus stationing retrograde happens every year. So it's definitely not a transit to fear, and it is an opportunity. In fact, we kind of talked about this a little bit, the cycle of retrogrades, but essentially all a retrograde is a planet appearing to move backwards from our vantage point here on Earth. So as the Earth gains distance from Uranus, they kind of play this switching game where they're on opposite sides of the sun, moving opposite directions. But we know everybody's still moving the same direction. That's how an orbit works. So Uranus is actually retrograde about 6 months out of the year every year, which is why I say don't fear this. No need to fear it, because we're used to it. We are in this energy quite a bit every year. So Uranus, the planet of innovation, rebellion, revolution, disruption, technology, will be appearing to move backwards until January 22nd of 2023. So essentially through the rest of 2022, Uranus is retrograde. Now, I see a few different potentials for this on a collective level as well as on an individual level. So let's start macro, and then we'll go to the micro, kind of how we can use this energy internally. So with Uranus being in Taurus, Taurus rules the physical earth, the physical realm, the 3D. And Uranus has been in Taurus for years now. It's no surprise that while Uranus, the planet of disruption, has been in the sign of the earth, we've seen a lot of physical disruption to the earth. And not even that the natural disasters have been more prominent or intense, although it feels like they have. It's more of the awareness around it, right? And technology, as Uranus rules technology, plays into this as well, because we all have these devices, right, in our hands, and we can see when there's a mudslide in a different part of the world. We can see when there are fires raging in California. Yes, we've had the news for many years, but it's a lot different being able to hop onto Instagram or Twitter or Facebook and see it, you know, curated in our feed, literally in our face. So Uranus and Taurus has brought a lot of disruption to the climate and a lot more awareness about the disruption to the climate. While Uranus is retrograde over the next 6 months or so, I expect to see more news about this, maybe a review of the changes, of the disruptions, because remember, retrogrades are times to review, reflect, and revise, that RE prefix that we love to talk about so much during retrogrades. So we might be reviewing climate plans, or there could be a review of all the changes we've seen so far, maybe some data coming out looking back at the past 5-10 years and what's happened with the atmosphere, what's happened with carbon emissions, and potentially some innovation coming out of that. Technological advancements could be under review as well. Every time I have been thinking about the tech aspect of Uranus stationing retrograde, I just see in my mind's eye like a rocket. You know, earlier this year, while Uranus was direct, there was the space race, a bunch of billionaires sending their rockets up to outer space, just the edge of outer space, right? I could see a review of those projects, those plans to put more humans into space. I'm not sure why that feels like it's going to be part of it, but that's just what keeps coming up for me every time I think about Uranus stationing retrograde. So, it could be, and that's all tied together, right, with technology and also the Earth, like having options outside of the Earth if we screw this planet up too much, right? Current revolutions could also be reviewed. Of course, Uranus, the planet of rebellion, revolution, what's going on in Ukraine, what's going on in Russia, that could come under review. So just expect, it's not going to be this like, all of these things are coming under review. It'll be little things here and there over the next 6 months that we'll be reflecting on, reviewing, and likely revising during this retrograde. Now, on a personal level, this is a chance to review our own trajectory for innovation, if you will, how we're evolving, how we're becoming the next best version of ourselves. So Uranus wants us to be authentic, wants us to march to the beat of our own drum. And as Uranus and the Earth create more distance with each other, we are given the opportunity to go within, to reflect on what's really important to us, what values with Uranus and Taurus is it important for us to express authentically. You know, that could be how we show up in the world. If we're kind of holding ourselves back from authentic expression out of fear of being rejected or out of fear of being too much or, just being too eccentric. So this retrograde is really a time to review and revise those things. Come back to your own authenticity. Take this internal energy and reflect on what's really important for you to express and what's important for you to feel authentic in your own life, what's important for you to continue evolving into the most authentic version of yourself. Let's see, what are you guys saying in the chat? Wow, retrograde season. I see it's a time to remember. Oh, I love that. Remember who you once were and see how far you've grown. Absolutely, absolutely. And just as we were talking about with values, like really reflecting on our values, remembering our values with, this Taurus energy. And are we expressing our values? Are we upholding our values as authentically as we could be? Hi, Denise. Hey, Rachel. There we go. Artemis is launching next week. Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see how that plays out, right, during Uranus retrograde. Technological advancements, like I said, will be under review. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that. Corby, keep us updated in the chat as that's playing out. I'll do a little research on my own as well so I can share about it, but you're more tuned into that than I am. So I respect that. But yeah, and it could be a combination of the value and technology piece, right? Like, what do we value in technological advancements? Earlier in the year, as all these billionaires were in this space race, a lot of people were critical of it. And like, why are we spending so much time and energy getting to space when there are problems here on Earth? I could see that being part of the conversation over the next couple months too, although space exploration is important, scientific innovation is important. It's good for us to be able to know what's out there and gather data and things like that, but what's the purpose of it? Why are we doing it? And those are questions that likely will pop up over the next 6 months when it comes to not just space technology, but all technology. I could see like new iPhones are coming out every year. We're constantly updating technology. And I see this Uranus retrograde as also a potential to review our relationship to technology, our values around technology. Why is it important to have the next best iPhone? Why is it important for us to constantly be reaching for that new advancement rather than just appreciating what we have right now and the technological innovation that we've already created over the past, few years? Just those of you, I know all of you were probably alive in the 90s. Think back to even 20 years ago. Like, if you could go back in time and tell yourself, like, yeah, I have this like weird little device that I basically live on and I connect with people on and I can video chat, like, we would be mind blown. And 20 years is such a small blip of time in the overall span of the human race. We have been doing so much advancement technologically as humans over the past couple decades. And this could be an opportunity to review our values. Why is it important for us to keep upgrading our technology? This is not good or bad judgment in one way or the other. It's just a question that we could be asking ourselves. So that's Uranus retrograde. It won't likely feel like a big shift. It won't feel like a Mercury retrograde because Mercury is very much about the daily, about interpersonal communication. That's why we feel a Mercury retrograde a little bit more strongly. Same with like a Venus or Mars retrograde, which we don't have to talk about for a couple months. But Uranus retrograde, it's something you probably have been experiencing in past years without even realizing it. So it's nice to have these questions in the back of our mind, this frame to view the world through a little bit, but we don't have to be afraid of it or worried that it's going to have all these issues. I will say, as much as we've been talking about technology today, tomorrow, you might have some tech glitches. That could happen. Uranus ruling technology, but I don't see it being too big of a concern. All right, let's see. Artemis will be an uncrewed flight test that will provide a foundation for a human deep space exploration. NASA's goal is to extend human existence to the moon and beyond. Well, that is so cool. And again, this is like really playing into reviewing our values around space exploration. Why are we doing the things we're doing? I'm kind of glad that it's uncrewed, just because during Uranus retrograde, I don't know if I would necessarily want to be an astronaut launching into space personally, but yeah, reviewing our values around science, technology, innovation. And it almost feels like a review in a sense, because we've been to the moon, we've done these things, but it's almost like we're going back and replanting those seeds, or innovating what we've already done, doing it differently. That's what Uranus is all about, because we are killing this planet, so we need more real estate possibilities. Again, going back to our values, why are we doing the things we're doing? I just watched, speaking of climate change and all of these things, if you're a fan of John Oliver, I just watched his latest episode, or maybe it wasn't his latest. No, it was his latest episode, and it was all about carbon emissions and how major companies are now basically being able to say that they reduce carbon emissions by paying these funds, but the funds aren't really doing anything. That's a really great episode to watch. I'm not breaking it down in a way that's as well as he does, obviously, but if you have HBO, I would highly, highly recommend watching the latest episode of John Oliver. It was really good. Okay, moving on to our next transit, Venus trine Chiron. So this is what we're feeling today, particularly Venus in Leo at 15 degrees up here is trine Chiron in Aries at 15 degrees over here. That nice dark blue line. What is it? What is this? Oh, the North Node. Okay. I'm like, where is this other trine coming into play? Mercury harmonizing with the North Node, it looks like, but that doesn't fully make sense to me. Oh, it's not Mercury. It's the point of fortune. That's why. And the point of fortune moves very quickly. So we don't need to talk about that. But I will say this happening right now means this conversation is probably very fortunate that we're having. Okay. Back to the transit we're talking about before I got sidetracked. Also want to point out, speaking of getting sidetracked, Mercury will be at the anaretic degree today. So it's at 28 degrees now, but give it let's see, 6 hours. Will it be at the 29th degree? Where are you, Mercury? Starting tonight, probably. Yeah. Starting tonight, Mercury will be at the anaretic degree into tomorrow when it moves into Libra. So just an aside to watch out for the tendency to blurt things out, to think too quickly, to speak too quickly, maybe to be too harsh with Mercury and Virgo. And we're in Mercury retrograde's shadow period. So communication mishaps, little glitches are possible. Just know that Mercury is going to be at the anaretic degree, and we might be feeling a little more antsy to speak our mind or jump in with that little advice or criticism. That's just something to keep in mind. Okay, back to Venus and Chiron. Venus at 15 degrees, Chiron at 15 degrees, forming this nice 120-degree angle, this trine to each other. To me, I see this as healing potential in relationships today. Love can be very healing. Venus in Leo is this passionate, heart-centered, loving energy, and Chiron in Aries wants us to heal and kind of aggressively wants us to heal. So with Venus and Chiron harmonizing in this way, really leaning into love in itself can be healing, and it can be a really easy process. It doesn't have to be like, okay, we're gonna be in relationship and we're gonna have these hard talks that are gonna be healing. Just simply being in play, being in pleasure, even boldly declaring our love to other people, being more expressive about our love can be healing in itself. Saying I love you can be healing. Doing something fun that lights up your heart can be healing. Doing anything that sparks your passions with Venus and Leo can easily help you along in your healing journey. So this is a day to be confident, not just in love, in relationships, but in your own passions and what lights you up. Also, money. Venus in Leo makes us more bold with our finances, but taking bold moves, not necessarily risky moves, but just being more confident in how we're spending our money, what we're investing in, can also easily play into our healing process with Venus trine Chiron today. If any painful feelings pop up during this day, during this process, Chiron rules our deepest wounds and then our ability to heal them. If any pain comes up, ask yourself today, how can I love this part of myself? How can I give myself more love? How can I give other people more love? It'll be easy to tap into that loving, heart-centered energy with Venus in Leo today. So love is the answer. Love is the answer to any painful moments, but also it might not even be a conscious realization that you're healing. You're just being in that play, that playful, fun, passionate Leo energy, and healing just happens naturally with this fortunate trine between Venus and Chiron. So yeah, be affectionate, be bold, be passionate. Give yourself time to play and have fun today. This is especially true with the moon moving into Leo now. Like, today is the day to play, to feel free, to be light, and healing is just a nice, easy byproduct of being in that energy. So not a day you got to try to heal. It's just a matter of it happening and allowing it to unfold. And it might even surprise you. You might not even realize it's happening in the moment, but it could be that moment where you are looking at someone and you're feeling something really beautiful, and then you have that oh, this is what healing feels like. Being able to feel this level of love, this level of passion can be a sign that you are healing. Take a sip of my coffee there. So play, have fun, full permission to be your passionate, loving self today, and there is definitely healing to be found in that energy. Let's see. Humans need to move other places than the Earth before we all die to climate change or nuclear war in case Putin pushes the button. Oh gosh, so dark. I'm just envisioning a nice, healthy Earth that everybody takes this wake-up call and we all start to be a little kinder to the Earth. This happens in my 11th and 7th house. How perfect. Yeah, community as well as relationships. So it's like the 7th house is perfect for healing in relationships. I think you're talking about Venus and Chiron. And the 11th house is all about being authentic, your own expression, and connecting with a broader community and relationship. Let's see. Been hard to speak my truth, but doing so has brought a lot of love and healing. Beautiful. Yeah, so just be, and sometimes being in play and light energy can help us be more in our truth when we're not so okay, what is my truth? How do I authentically express it? We put so much pressure on ourselves, right? But Leo energy, especially Venus in Leo, takes that pressure off and just asks you to tap into your heart. That's where your truth lies. So just be light, be free, have fun, play a little bit. That's where you can find your truth. How do I like my coffee? Right now, I've been drinking my coffee black with a scoop of collagen in it. It's collagen creamer by, I think, Vital Proteins, and that's basically the only creamer I use. I'm a huge fan of collagen. You guys know I've been trying to grow my hair out, and collagen is amazing for doing that. Even my partner, the guys out there, if you have a little bit of a receding hairline, as many men do as they age, when he consistently drinks collagen, his hairline starts to get thicker and almost move forward. So I need to get a collagen sponsorship or something, because I tell everyone to take collagen in my life. And then also one of my friends, Sarah Flowers, is a local herbalist here in Sacramento, and I bought some herbal infused honey from her. So I've been putting a scoop of that in the coffee every morning. And yes, that's how I take my coffee. If you would have told me a year or two ago that I was drinking coffee, not black, but almost black every day, I would have thought you were crazy, but it's an acquired taste, you get used to it. Currently picking blackberries and looking at bugs and frogs, feeling that playfulness. Yes, that little kid energy. I love that you brought this up because Venus in Leo is, we talk about playfulness and freedom and fun, but it is tapping into that energy of the inner child and talking about speaking our truth. Kids don't filter their truth, it just is what it is. So being in that play can help you tap into your truth and what's on your heart more easily. Hope we can all get to a united Earth like on Star Trek. No need to apologize. I just want to envision us all doing our part, doing little things, composting, recycling, using reusable water bottles. If every single person on the Earth, or even just a large majority of the people on the Earth, made those small changes, I really do believe we would see a huge shift in a short amount of time. So remember, we can all do our part. That's all we can control. Something that came up a lot yesterday, focusing on what we can control. We can control our own daily actions. Really a great thing to think about during Virgo season, serving others through our small daily actions, serving the world and the environment through our small daily actions. So with Uranus retrograde, it could be a time as well to review your own actions you're taking and how you are innovating in order to serve the climate, the world, Mama Earth. Yes, I'm glad you like my coffee, how I take my coffee. Okay, so that was Venus and Chiron. Let's talk about what's going on with the moon today. At 3 a.m., not the Virgo moon, we're not there yet. The Cancer moon formed a sextile to Mercury in Virgo. So clear messages through dreams. You might have, if you happen to be awake at 3 a.m. Pacific time, maybe 6 a.m. Eastern time, you might have been able to rationalize or easily make sense of the emotions you're feeling. Mercury supporting the moon really helps us mentally, verbally, rationally process our emotions. But if you happen to be asleep at 3 a.m., like most of us on the West Coast probably did, you might have gotten some clear messages in your dreams or just having like crystal clear dreams and visuals and things like that. So that's the energy we either woke up under or were still feeling while we were sleeping. And then the moon moved into Leo at 6 a.m. So this is the waning moon in Leo. And this is where we're going to get into kind of this duality or this conflicting energy, if you will, of pushing forward and having a lot of energy and wanting to be productive during Virgo season, with the moon in Leo really playing into that heart-centered, energetic, light energy. But also it's a waning moon, which is all about slowing down, going within, being introspective. Let me know, are you feeling that push-pull? Because I certainly am. How can we use this waning moon energy with the waning moon being in Leo? Well, with the moon in a fire sign, it's always a great idea to move our body. And this doesn't mean you have to run a marathon, but movement, playfulness, dancing, being light, can be a great form of catharsis and release and surrender. The waning crescent moon is a time to surrender and release any remaining stagnant energy in this 2-week release phase, really clearing things out before the new moon in Virgo. So this is a time really to move out any energy or simply just play and be light and let that be the surrender. Not trying to push forward or make anything happen right now. Wait until the new moon in Virgo. It'll be a very productive new moon. Instead, just take the next couple of days to play and be light and release that way. This is also a really great time, and this actually came up for me this morning. We held a new moon ceremony here in Sacramento in person for the Leo new moon. So it's been almost a month or about a month since the Leo new moon, right? And one of the women there, we talked about her chart, and I said this would probably be a great time to start a business for you if you were thinking about starting a business. And she happened to be thinking about starting a business. And she just messaged me this morning. We talked about it on the Leo new moon, that she's already started selling some of the products she was making just for fun. And first of all, like, I feel so grateful that she shared that with me and to kind of have been a small part of that process. But it reminded me that at this point, as we're surrendering, releasing, letting go, getting ready to set intentions again under the next new moon, really reflecting on the past month since the new moon in Leo. What has come to life during that time? What have you accomplished during that time? What are you proud of that you've done over the last month? Remember, Leo is associated with our pride. So how can you give yourself a little bit more pride or tap into that for yourself just by reviewing the past 26 days, 25 days? What have you done over that time? What are you excited about? What has been on your heart? So we often talk about moons in 6-month cycles, even year-long cycles, and of course, bigger things can manifest usually in that amount of time. But just asking yourself over the past month, what have I accomplished? What intentions did I set under the Leo new moon? And now that the moon is back in Leo, how do I feel about that? What has come to fruition? What am I proud of? But more importantly, just surrender through fun. Just have fun today. Be playful, be light. Like the phrase, let your heart be light. You know, have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. That came up as I was writing the forecast today. Just surrender and let your heart be light today. Okay, the moon makes a couple different connections, and the first one is happening as we speak right now. The moon is forming a sextile to Mars. So even if you had a hard time getting up and going this morning, you might be starting to feel that energy kick in now. The moon at 2 degrees, Mars at 2 degrees, they form this nice 60-degree angle to one another, helping us tap into our motivation, helping us tap into that get up and go energy. So energy levels throughout the day will actually probably build a little bit more. Again, kind of counterintuitive under a waning moon, but our energy levels are constantly ebbing and flowing, you know. So today, with the moon moving into Leo and making a couple fortunate connections to very energetic planets, I see the energy building throughout the day today. And if there's anything that is on your to-do list that you kind of just need to get done and get into it, now is the time. The moon and Mars are connecting with each other. And if we just lean into that motivation just a little bit, Mars will meet us halfway and give us the push we need to get going, to get things done, to move our body. If you're feeling a lot of stagnant energy in your body, moving your body can be really helpful today. So the moon and Mars helping us to move in whatever way that looks like for you. Either move through your to-do list, move your body, or further surrender through movement of some sort, playfulness. But I see like the need to physically move, with Mars being, the planet of action and movement, and the moon being in a fire sign. Happy to encourage it. And I don't normally think of the waning moon as a time to look back, but it is a time of introspection, and every experience I have helps me gain more awareness of what to speak about during these live streams, what to reflect on with you all. And I knew when I got that message this morning, like, oh, this is something we need to talk about today, reflecting on the intentions we set under the new moon in Leo, especially because Leo's season just wrapped up. So really doing that nice review of Leo season. What came to fruition for you during Leo season, and what are you proud of? Okay, so the moon and Mars supporting each other right now. We'll be feeling this energy through the afternoon today, really giving us that motivation, that physical energy to move, to get things done, to push forward. And then by the end of the day today, the moon harmonizes with Jupiter, one of my favorite transits to talk about because it's all abundant, it's all positive. So this happens at, let me see here, 9 p.m. Pacific time. And let me see if I can get it to show up on our chart here. The moon at 5 degrees. We'll jump ahead a few more hours. Okay. Close enough. So the moon over here in Leo, harmonizing with Jupiter in Aries. Jupiter is the planet of abundance, optimism, good fortune. It's a fortunate angle. So we'll be feeling the good vibes by the end of the day today, for sure. There's a lot of loving energy today. There's a lot of Leo energy today. Our hearts are very activated. on this Wednesday. So just really tapping into that. And Jupiter is only going to amplify that energy, make us feel the love more strongly, help us see the optimism, almost help us look to the future with like a rosy outlook. Like by, we just talked about being prideful or proud of what we've accomplished so far. The moon harmonizing with Jupiter is like, but just you wait what you're going to accomplish in the next phase. So being in that like playful energy and that, introspection and playfulness can go hand in hand. When we're in that playful, fun flow, we can have these realizations of like, oh, this is what's really important to me. This is what feels good. So the moon harmonizing with Jupiter just brings a lot of joy tonight, and it'll feel natural to share those good vibes with other people. Jupiter is all about generosity and sharing. So, this transit reminds us of how good it can feel to be alive. The moon in Leo, Jupiter in Aries, that fire within us, it really helps us tap into that inner spark and playfulness and fun and joy, and sharing that with other people will feel really good tonight. So all the good vibes. I could keep going on and on about how good the energy is tonight with the moon and Jupiter connecting and fire signs. And again, moving your body, physically moving energy through you will feel really good all day today for the rest of the day with the moon in Leo. And just, again, having fun. I don't know how many times I've said fun, but do at least one little thing that's fun today. Even if you're just driving and you put on a song that's like silly or that you love and you just belt to the top of your lungs to that song, that can be enough to ignite that inner child, that little spark within you, and carry you through the rest of the day. So if you're feeling resistant to it, use this connection with the moon and Mars right now to kind of give yourself a little push, tap into the motivation, take that small action, and see how that compounds and snowballs into this really like beautiful energy and this beautiful vibe by the end of the day today. So those are today's transits. Let's come back to our affirmation of the day. What a joy it is to be alive. What a joy it is to be alive. Being in that energy. Yeah, I know life isn't always rainbows and sunshine, but even like the pain and the drama and all that stuff is part of the experience of being alive. And I've been reminded of that because, I've been having like some sinus issues, not feeling 100% physically, to be honest with you. I've been really tired. The sun and moon are in my 12th house, all about that sleepy, tired energy. But even my nose kind of bothering me, it's like, oh yeah, this is what it's about, being alive. Like I can feel this. I am alive right now. I can feel this like little tingling in my sinuses. Not the best, but part of my life experience. So finding the joy in the simplest things, finding the joy in the sensations in our body. What a joy it is to be here right now, to be alive, not to take a moment for granted, because we never know when the clock's going to stop ticking for us, when our time is up, when it's our time to go wherever we go after this lifetime, just to really be in the joy of life. And I just, like Katie out there picking, was it raspberries, blackberries, looking at bugs and frogs. What a joy it is to be alive. Play in that joy, in that aliveness. Go outside, hang out with a tree. Like what does it mean for you to be alive? And how can you like fully bite into today's energy, like take full advantage of it? Thanks, Nick. I'm feeling all right. Just listening to my body and like, okay, this is what it means to be alive for me today. Got to slow down, and that's okay too. There can be joy in that too. Tired, pain in the areas of my body that are afflicted with issues. It's overwhelming, but I am blessed in my life. I always go back to that. And I do this to my partner. He probably does not appreciate it, but I've done this to other people as well. Or I've shared this, I should say. I haven't done this, but when people are like complaining like, oh, my shoulder hurts, or oh, this or all that, I'm like, but think about how many people on this earth would kill to be in your body, right? Would just love to have the ability to walk or to see or to hear or to taste, or, like, think about all the things your body is doing right for you. What a joy it is to be alive. Yes, sometimes our body sends us signals like, hey, take care of me in this part. Hey, you're doing too much over here. Sometimes we don't even know what signals it's sending. But even so, there are so many people in the world who would happily trade places with you. So just remembering it is a joy to be here in this body. It doesn't matter what the body looks like. Yeah, it might be kind of cranky, sending you some messages like, hey, but what a joy to be in this body in this lifetime. Oh, I love him. My Virgo baby was just kissing you on the screen. I am honored. That is the sweetest thing. That is so sweet. I love that so much. Aw. Yeah, he knew it. He was just like, what a joy it is to be alive. How many of us would love to be like a baby again and just feeling good, not having any issues? Everybody takes care of everything for us. But then again, you do have to poop and pee on yourself. So, there's beauty in every stage of life, right? Yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and finish out by pulling a card. I'm going to pull from the Cosmic Dancer Oracle today, really leaning into the energy of joy and being alive and moving energy through us. And we'll see what message wants to come through. As always, this is your time to share any final reflections, any final questions. That's what I need, yeah. Yeah, somebody just to take care of you all the time. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? Starting to feel really like we're in Virgo season now. I've been kind of not in denial, but just like, we talked about this yesterday, but for me, the sun's still in my 12th house, and the 12th house is not the most fun energy to be in. I've been super tired, and I'm just grateful that I know what's happening in my chart, because me not tracking the transits a couple years ago would have just been like, why am I so tired? I'm so irritated with myself. Like, I just want to get things done. Typical Virgo. I just want to be productive. And I'm like, all right, the sun's only going to be in my 12th house for another week or two, just taking it slow. So, just another reason I love astrology, that awareness, that mindfulness of the season we're in at each day, each moment, and how to give ourselves a little more grace in those seasons. All right, let's all take a deep breath together. Here we go. Breathe in. What do we need to know? The card is improvise. Improvise, card number 13, and it just has this pyramid of light on it. So let's see what message it has for us. Card number 13. If 13 is your number, this card has an extra special message for you. Great treasures are waiting for you in the most unexpected places. It's time to take a detour onto a road less traveled. First, you must release attachment to a particular destination or outcome. Free up your sense of playful spontaneity and dare to step bravely into the unknown. The universe desires to co-create with you. Relinquish your concrete plans and rigid expectations to signify your willingness to dance gracefully with the cosmic mystery and wild divine. Relax, flow, and let go. Like a dancer who forgoes choreography in favor of improvisation, throw off mental constrictions, banish the need for control, and trust in your innate ability to align with whatever is required. After all, the only constant is change. Surrendering to change with an open mind and a light-hearted sense of curiosity will allow you to free yourself of stagnant energy, break free from old patterns, unlock spontaneous blessings, and discover spur-of-the-moment solutions. Imagine that you are at the very center of the great mandala of life, where you can choose from the countless paths and forms your journey can take as you travel outward toward the edge. Have you been stuck in one way of doing things or one vision of how things should look? If so, you are missing out on so much magic and so many possibilities. Shake yourself out of the rut by choosing a new approach and seeing your whole situation in a radically different light. We really don't know what's going to happen. The future is a field of wide open potentiality, so make love to the mystery. Open your heart, body, mind, and energy to all that you don't know and can't predict. This will allow you to step inside each circumstance and become its truth and wisdom. From there, all doors are open to you. Beautiful improvisational dance only occurs when you get out of your head and let your instincts take over. Stop the tendency to overthink by imagining your mental chatter dropping from your head and dissolving into your alive and expansive heart space. Once you do, you will open to a vast field of glorious possibility. Then it says to bring this wisdom into your body, put on music that makes your body want to move. This may not be the same style of music you normally enjoy. Your body might be in the mood for hard rock, even if you generally prefer classical. Dim the lights, let your body flow and sway in any way it desires. If you notice your movements following a familiar pattern, let that pattern transform into something that surprises you. Let your thoughts fall away and give your body license to move in a way it's never moved before. Improvisation calls for a vulnerable, sensitive state of empty presence. This gives the universe space to join you in dance. Play. Play, play, play. Have fun. Improvise. Get away from the plan today. Hi from Australia. Someone's from Australia watching. But yeah, lean into that spontaneity, that fun. Like a little kid. You never really know what they're going to do next, you know? Be the little kid. Have fun today. Yes. Sun is in my 10th house. I'm a Virgo, Scorpio rising. Yes, I remember you saying that. You maybe have a little more fun in your work today, you know, or be a little bit more expansive and playful. Spontaneous blessings. Be open to the spontaneity. Absolutely. Go with the flow. Yeah, and lean into the flow. Give yourself, like I said, just 5 minutes. Throw on some music. Let your body move. It's great for releasing under the waning Leo moon, and it's great for helping you tap into your heart space and that loving energy that can be especially healing today as Venus in Leo harmonizes with Chiron. So fun is not just to be in a good mood today. Playfulness won't only help us feel good, but it could also help us heal things that we didn't even realize were still wounded. So play. That's your assignment of the day. Just play. All right, everybody. That's going to do it for this episode of Transits today. If you found this video helpful, please go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel so we can keep these videos coming to you for free every single day. I also just launched a membership on my YouTube channel, so it's $4.99 a month, and I'll be putting out more details about this, but essentially every month we'll do an exclusive live Q&A for members only, and I'll also send invites to certain people so you can join me here on screen. We can chat, you know, face-to-face, if you will, and there's a discount for readings and merchandise when you join the membership too. So that's something fun and new I'm launching, playing with right now, and I'll be back tomorrow to talk about Mercury moving into Libra. So don't forget, Mercury is at the anaretic degree tonight and tomorrow morning. Watch out for moving too quickly. Watch your words, you know, as much as I say play, also don't be too in your head, and we could also overanalyze with Mercury at the anaretic degree. So don't move too quickly, but definitely have fun and play. Yes, gonna take a nap, but then go play. There you go. Have a beautiful day. Can't wait for all that's to come. And I love you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up for yourself today. Thank you for continuing to show up for this beautiful community we're creating together. I hope you have the most beautiful Mercury day. I will see you right back here tomorrow morning. But until I see you next, stay curious. Thank you so much for joining us and aligning with the energy of the universe today. If you enjoyed this morning's episode of Transits Today, you can join our live astrology discussion every weekday morning right here wherever you're watching. And head to thespiritualjournalist.com to read your daily astrology forecast and browse the Spiritual Shop. The most fun way to help keep these forecasts free and support more content like this is to buy yourself a little something on our website. But if you're feeling extra generous, you can also buy me a coffee to fuel future live streams. Just tap the link in the description or head to buymeacoffee.com and search The Spiritual Journalist. And speaking of, you can also tune in to The Spiritual Journalist, our weekly live interview where we ask our guests questions about everything from crystals and manifestation to mental health and the environment. Those conversations stream live right here wherever you're watching now every Tuesday. I'm so grateful you found us here, and I can't wait for our next conversation.